Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your friendly neighborhood Coach Pruitt here with you once again with our daily YouTube video. So this video is going to cover class on March 1st and 2nd. That is Monday and Tuesday of 2021. So we have made it to March, and we are getting ever closer to a couple of milestone markers for the year. So let's look at our daily schedule for today. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing in class. I'll show you guys where we're going to get some of our information today, and then explain the assignment that we're also going to do today, which is part of Taskwork and will be its own individual grade. Your essential question for today: what impact did Muckrakers have on progressive society and American culture, politics, etc.? So for the last couple of class periods, we have started to look at a bunch of issues that were happening in the United States. We've been looking at things like segregation, Jim Crow, Plessy v. Ferguson. We talked last week about Upton Sinclair and his book, The Jungle. He was a muckraking author or journalist. And so today we're going to look at a couple of other muckrakers and talk about, in general, what did muckrakers do and what was their importance to U.S. history. This is going to bridge the gap that we'll finish up on Wednesday and Thursday of this week when we talk about the progressive reforms. So the actual changes that were made to American law and society based on what the muckrakers and progressives wanted to update, change, improve, etc. So today you can see our schedule here. We'll recap The Jungle just a little bit. We won't go into gross details, so nobody has to worry about, rediscussing the gritty details of The Jungle. We'll take a couple of notes and just discuss a lady named Ida Tarbell, because she is one of the most important muckraking journalists. But in general, just what did muckrakers do and how did they do it? And then we're going to work on our muckraking article, which is a part of your Taskwork for unit number 5. I'll show you a couple of different examples. There are also 3 options to how you can complete this assignment, so I'll be sure to tell you about all of those. That's the schedule for today and what we'll be looking at today. Let's continue on, and just a couple of announcements we need to make sure and highlight. Next Monday and Tuesday, so a week from today, is going to be your test over unit number 5. We are rapidly approaching the end of the unit and the end of our content for this unit, which is great. So odd classes outside of first period. So 3rd, 5th, and 7th period, your test is next Monday the 8th. 1st, 4th, 6th period, your test is going to be on the 9th, which is a Tuesday. Also, just a reminder, and we've said this for the last 2 weeks, but your taskwork is not going to be due until Friday the 12th, and we're going to make that due by midnight. So we're going to finish the unit on Monday, Tuesday, and give you guys until Friday to turn in all of your taskwork. We are going to do, or have done at this point, 100% of taskwork in class together. You guys have had plenty of time to do things like your ABC book, which we assigned on one day and then gave you 1, 2, 3 other class periods at the end of class, time to work on it. Same thing with your political cartoon. We assigned it one day during class. We've given you guys 10 or 15 or 20 minutes at the end of class on a couple of occasions to work on it as well. We will have a work day between now and the end of the unit as well to give you just another day of class. So hopefully at the end of the unit, everybody turns stuff in on time, completed, and 100% of the work. That's the goal. Also, it is close enough now that I feel like I can put this on our announcements, and of course we'll stay on this announcement page for the next month, but spring break is approaching. The first full week of April is our spring break, so that's going to be the 5th through the 9th, so we are getting ever closer to that date. Obviously, we don't have our daily YouTube video today because I'm recording it now, but we do have a couple of things we're going to look at in class. We'll be looking at a Jacob Riis photojournalism, basically just to look at it for your assignment today. I also have a link here to the example that students made in the past of the photojournalism activity, should you choose to go that route. We are going to use the Progressives Google slide presentation. There's a few slides in there about muckrakers, and we'll also be using our guided notes today when we cover the content. And then there are a couple of videos I would like for you guys to watch. There is one. These 4 and 6 are in the playlist, the unit number 5 playlist. Number 5 cannot be added to a playlist. It's specialized that way. So make sure you check out this link, or you can just search Muckraking in NBC, not... Sorry about that. That's embarrassing. Special. So we've got several video clips here that you guys can check out towards the end of class as you are working as well. So let's talk about what we're actually going to do today. So again, like I said, the very first thing that we're going to do is discuss Muckrakers in general and what they did. So just a reminder that if you go to the Tools and Resources page of Canvas, we have all this stuff for unit number 5. We have the standard number 13 PowerPoint we'll be looking at today, section D of that. We have our guided notes. So of course, if you click on the guided notes, it takes you here, and we would want to go to the bottom of, I believe it's the middle of the second page, and you can see there is information about Muckrakers here, just in general, kind of what they're doing and what's going on with them. And if you go to the Google Slide presentations, you would want to click on the Google Slide titled Progressives, and you can see that there is a section here about Muckrakers that we'll be checking out as well. So between all of those resources, you should have all the information you need, not only for today's class, but also any of the classes that we've had previously, and also the remaining classes of content left for unit number 5. Keep in mind too, guys, like I said, your test is coming up in a week, and you do have a version of the study guide here which you could start using now to review your content and make sure you're ready for the test in 7 days. Just a suggestion, not mandatory. So what is your assignment for today? So like I said, we'll quickly discuss the Muckrakers, a couple of examples of Muckrakers, and talk more specifically and broadly about what they did and what were their goals. We do have a taskwork assignment we're going to do, so of course we need to go into the unit number 5 module. When we click that module, it takes us here. So we are going to today work on this muckraking article. So it is the very last assignment in the unit number 5 module. If you click on the muckraking article, it will pull up some instructions. Now actually I need to make a little edit to this, and I'll be telling you about this in class. I'll make sure to point it out on this video as well. So what we are asking you guys to do, Muckrakers, which you will learn, were people who were looking at some of the bad stuff going on in society, corruption in business, corruption in government, bad things in society. And they were called Muckrakers by Teddy Roosevelt as kind of like Teddy Roosevelt was in favor of what they were doing, but he didn't like the way they did it. So it was kind of a jab or a throwing a little shade on these people. But we want you guys to do your own version of a muckraking article. Now, there are 3 options for this assignment. Again, I need to update this, the instructions, but I may not have time before class, so I'll be sure to tell you about it here. There are 3 ways, 3 things that you can do with this assignment. The first one is you can write a 3/4 of a page article. You can write it by hand or you can type it. Guys, obviously if you type it in size 20 font, that's not going to count. We're looking for, if you type it size 12 to 14 font, 3/4 of a page, right? If you write it by hand, just write it in your normal handwriting. That article does not have to include any images. You can certainly put images if you want, but it doesn't have to have them. So you can write 3/4 of a page about your muckraking article. You can write a half-page article and include 1 to 2 images. You can do this again virtually or by hand, whichever you prefer. So again, 3/4 of a page written, typed or written by hand, half a page including 1 to 2 images. Let's go ahead, let's just say 2 images. I'm not going to give you guys that option of minimalism. Or you can do images only in the style of a Jacob Riis photojournalism activity, which I'll show you in just a second. So your assignment is basically this, guys. Look at something either from the progressive era, so the late 18 to early 1900s, things that we've been talking about in class that you would want to talk about and highlight, or a modern equivalent. There are still plenty of things happening in the world today which are, not maybe the best, maybe some erroneous activities by governments or by corporations or by businesses or by specific people in American society. So maybe you write a muckraking article about that. So you can write 3/4 of a page on whatever topic you choose from the progressive era or a modern equivalent. You can do a half-page overview of the subject or the material and include 2 images. Or you can do what Jacob Riis used to do, which is just take pictures of things to highlight the evils of society and things that are happening which are not good. There's a link here to a photojournalism activity that I used to have students do. So if you're looking for some inspiration, you can certainly check that out. I can't believe I didn't have this thing open yet. I apologize for that. So this assignment would be kind of the second option there, where you would write about a half-page worth of information and also include an image. Now, some of these are very true things that might have happened. So you can see like somebody did theirs on sexism in society, and it was basically talking about the difference between boys and girls, and how schools treat students differently, and then how also businesses treat students differently. You can see that they actually took images of themselves, which you are free to do, and took their own images, or you can find online equivalents that fit your idea, right? Another group talked about school lunches, which I know for my in-person persons has become a very volatile topic. This is not a picture of our school lunch at the school that I did this assignment at. They found an online version that they liked better. So again, you can take pictures yourself, which would be really, really cool, and would really make your product and your project look amazing. Or you can just find equivalents on the internet. Depends on what you want to do. Another group did double standards regarding relationships, which I thought was an interesting take, especially since it was an all-boy group. So it was, of course, a male version of this idea, which, come on, we know sometimes boys can be dumb. There was one that was talking about how students don't get enough sleep, which was actually a very good idea, talking about how much work students have to do between their social life, their work life, and their school life. There was also one about the quality of the textbooks and how funding is not equal throughout the school. Our textbooks used to look like this at the school I was at, but we had brand new TVs in every single hallway to post the announcements. So these are just some examples. We'll look at these a little more in detail together, and then I'll show you guys, of course, the Jacob Reese ones, which was, his focus was on what's happening with tenement housing, what's happening with these immigrant workers and how they're basically, being treated. So taking the Upton Sinclair look at things, but doing it with images. So taking pictures from the time period to show like, hey, this is how people are living. Look at these terrible conditions. Look at what is happening to these immigrant workers. We'll look more in depth and detail at this. But again, your assignment today, we're going to be doing the Taskwork activity over the Muckraking article. We have 3 different options for how to complete that. Again, you can either do a 3/4 of a page article about the information that you choose, the topic that you choose. You can do a half page and include 2 images, or you can do images only and include 6 to 7 images of a certain topic. You can do it on the progressive era ideas, things from this unit we've been discussing, or a modern equivalent of things that you see as a muckraker that are bad in society. It's totally up to you. So that'll cover us for today. That is for, again, the 1st and the 2nd, Monday and Tuesday. When we see you guys Wednesday, Thursday, we'll finish up the content for the unit and talk about progressive reforms and a couple of other things just to kind of get us to the end of the unit. But that'll be it. We love you guys. We'll see you in class.